Alright guys, what's going on? I haven't done one of these actually, like what's on my phone videos for my iPhone, my main phone, in like over a month now, and I figured instead of doing one for December, pretty much sum up everything that's been on my phone for the late 2018. I never did one for like early and mid, and really there's not that much change from even the November one, but at the same time a lot of things have. I'll leave links to all the major stuff in the description. My wallpaper is actually one that I took a picture of. There's actually a snippet cover of my mixtape that's coming out this Saturday, so stay tuned for that. I dropped a link to this one on Twitter, so I'll just leave the link to the Twitter down in the description. But my main phone right now is the iPhone 10. I haven't switched it, even though I have the iPhone 10R. I kind of like the iPhone 10R. I have a love-hate relationship with it. I don't use it ever. I've never put my main SIM in it. I don't plan on using it ever. It's just probably just like make videos of. But yeah, this is the main phone. I have a screen protector on it. I did a great job on it. It's just I sweat and like dust and air gets in between the screen and the glass screen protector, so it annoys me. But what are you gonna do, you know? And to go on with what's on my iPhone, I use the iPhone 10 Apple silicone case. I like it a lot. Ever since I had the iPhone 6s Plus as my main phone like over a year ago, I've only been using their silicone cases. These are the ones that, you know, they're light, but they're also like pretty protective. I mean, there's way more protective cases out there, but these ones do the job. And I also have like a magnetic strip here where I can connect to the GPS like mount on my car, so I can just slap it on there instead of having to clamp it in back and forth. But yeah, this is the case that I use. Now let's look at the phone itself. So like I said, the wallpaper, I'll leave a link to it in the description below. But on the widgets side of things, what I usually do is I keep the standard widgets for the most part. I don't really have any like third-party ones. All the ones I use are the Apple ones, and the first one I use is the batteries one. This one is great if you want to look at like what's the battery status on not only your phone, but your AirPods, your Apple Watch, your other devices too, your headphones, let's say you have Beats, or even other like generic Bluetooth headphones. The battery stats will actually show you the battery status on those, so pretty cool, pretty convenient. I like that a lot. The activity one is actually, as you can see, I haven't done any activity today. Or at least it's not syncing or something, but I like this one a lot. As you can see, it's synced up now. It shows you how many steps you've done. If you have an Apple Watch, it basically gets you a little bit more like intrigued about your health and your activity and the steps you get. So I like that one a lot. I like keeping it right there. Screen time is one that maybe you guys like, maybe you guys don't. I personally like it. It just shows you how much screen on time you're having, and it kind of breaks down things too, like social networking, gaming, all this other stuff. It breaks it down so you can kind of have a gist of like what's going on, how much you use your phone, this and that. So I like that one a lot. And Siri shortcuts is one that I add in sometimes. Sometimes I take it out. Pretty much it allows you to do shortcuts. Like it pretty much like automates tasks. So you just click it and it makes you like whatever you want to. So on the Wi-Fi and Bluetooth ones, if I click those, it actually turns on and off Bluetooth and Wi-Fi. With the clear clipboard, it just clears the clipboard so you have nothing in there. You can get the file size of any app. You can resize image. You can do normal power mode, which is low power mode, and extreme low power mode. So it turns off a lot more things. I talked about this in the iOS 12 video, the battery saving one. And if you click happy, this is my favorite one. If you click that, it'll actually take you to a picture of Phil Schiller, who's like the greatest man in the world. You know, Phil Schiller, if you're still watching these videos, please hit me up on my DMs. I don't know what's taking you so long. I've already DM'd you like 20 times. And there's a lot more Siri shortcuts on reddit.com/r/Siri shortcuts, or just type in on Google Siri shortcuts Reddit, and then it'll just take you there. A lot more people have posted a lot more cool things. So that's pretty much the widget side of things. Now, talking about the main apps that I use, I'll kind of skim through them. I think a lot of you guys have already known which ones I use, but there's also some different ones too. So Google Maps is my maps of choice. I only use Google Maps. I delete Apple Maps every time I go on any phone that I use. I just don't like it. Now, I do use a lot of stock iOS apps, so like reminders, notes, calendars. I don't use like Evernote or Google Calendars or anything like that. I think Apple does a very good job at syncing up your iOS device with your MacBook device or macOS, whatever. So that's why I tend to use only iOS apps if I can get them. So Reminders is my Reminders app of choice. Voice Memos is one that I use all the time. If I've been using it, the more and more music I make, the more I find myself using Voice Memos, because if I have a beat idea or if I have like a cool like sound that I think sounds good, I'll just put it on Voice Memos, maybe hum it or whistle it or something, and then pull it over to my MacBook and then chop it up with Logic Pro and see where it goes from there. So that's pretty much that. Now, Gmail is my Gmail client of choice. I don't know if anyone else uses anything but Gmail nowadays, but Gmail is a good app. I use that like 30 times a day. Clock is my alarm clock of choice. The App Store, obviously, settings, camera, keep on the front page. Notes, another one, huge one I use because I do have a MacBook, as you can see right here, and a lot of things that are on my MacBook I sync up with my iPhone, like I said before. So prime example of one of those things that syncs up pretty well between my iOS device and my macOS device. calendars I use. In this folder called folder, I have Amazon and eBay. These are my two e-commerce things of choice. Amazon I use all the time, eBay I use all the time too. I buy most of my phones from eBay, and I buy all the like stuff that I need, like cases and Rubik's cubes and pretty much everything else on Amazon. So Outlook I use for my school email. YouTube, obviously I love YouTube. I watch YouTube videos all the time. Activity, as I keep on my front page, but it goes from being on my front page to not being on my front page, so it really just depends. Apollo is my Reddit client of choice. I recently just started putting it back on my phone. I deleted it for a while because I used to go on my internet browser and use it there, but Apollo is my client of choice. There's a lot more other ones. I think there's like Bacon Reader, and Reddit has their own app too, but I think Apollo is pretty decent. And Spotify is the one I use for listening to music and stuff. But I recently just re-downloaded SoundCloud, mostly because I have to put my music on SoundCloud. And I'm trying to get my music on Spotify, but I have to go through a lot more hoops. SoundCloud is so much easier, so hopefully my mixtape that's dropping on Saturday can be put on Spotify. Now, on the second page, pretty much everything is still the same, so I'll kind of run through it as fast as I can. FaceTime, obviously, whatever. Snapchat, Instagram, Twitter, like 3 major social media choices. Those are the ones that I use the most. Snapchat I don't use that often. Instagram I use all the time, and Twitter I use all the time. I found myself using Snapchat less and less and less. The more they update it, the less and less I use it. Calculator I keep right there. Photos I keep right there. And this folder called folder is all my like financial stuff, private stuff. Weather I keep right there. Google Photos, if you guys don't know, I talk about this in every single video. Pretty much what this allows you to do is sync up all your photos with your phone up to your Google or your whatever Gmail address, and it stores them for free, and it's unlimited storage. You know, with the iCloud it's like 15 gigs for free or whatever, and then like after that you have to pay for it. I've been paying for iCloud membership for so long, I don't even use all the memories, so it's pretty pointless, but I guess it's a tax write-off kind of. But with the Google Photos, completely free, just upload as much as you want to. It does compress the quality after I think like 15 or 16 megapixel photos, but it's really not that big of a deal. I use it all the time. YouTube Studio is one of the greatest apps ever made. I just wish they wouldn't update it as much because it's fine, and then they randomly just push an update and then it just messes the whole thing up. But I use that constantly throughout the day because I need to see the stats of my videos, see if there's any problems, see what you guys are saying, and I pretty much check everything through YouTube Studio. PayPal, I used to do a lot of sponsorships. I kind of, load down on them because I don't really need to do them right now in the financial situation of the channel. But once the views and once I pretty much stop making money off the videos, I'll start doing more sponsorships. Now, believe it or not, Bloons Tower Defense 5 is the only app I've ever bought in my life. This game completely changed my life. I love it so much. I owe so much of my success to Bloons Tower Defense 5. It's a tremendous game. If you haven't ever played it, just go play it. It's amazing. Bro, I used to play this game probably like in high school for like so long, and I still play it, which is crazy. Tweakbox is where I do get most of my emulators, PlayStation emulators, Nintendo DS emulators. I've already made videos on all those too. If you want to, go check back in the channel if you want to learn how to install any of those emulators. In this other folder called games, I have the Snake Blocks and I have Measure app. I don't know why it's like that. Snake Blocks, I don't even play that often. Measure app, I've never even used. I used it like one time to showcase it, like when iOS 12 came out. In this next folder called games, I have 3 more games. I don't play these ever. In this other folder called social, I have Facebook, which I have to delete, but I keep on because I have to do all these speed tests and everything, and in order for me to do that, I had to download all these apps. I could probably take them out now because I don't have to do any more speed tests, but whatever. So I have Facebook, Temple Run, Real Racing 3, Fruit Ninja, and Stack. So those are apps that I usually did for speed tests, but it's whatever. Now I do have TikTok. I go to TikTok every once in a while. I used to be addicted to it, I'm not gonna lie, but I kind of laid down on it, and I kind of like it, it's hit or miss, what are you gonna say, so I just recently put Google Sheets on the front page because I do a lot of my tax, all my expenses and all those things, so I just put them back on my front screen, and I have a super interesting video that it doesn't involve Google Sheets, like it has nothing to do with it, but for me to keep track of what the video is, I have to put it on Google Sheets, so I think you guys will like it, so I'll leave it at that. GroupMe is another one. SoundCloud is where I'm going to put my music, so I download it back on. Now in this folder called folder, yet again, I have like 30 of these. I recently re-downloaded Grubhub, Uber Eats, and Postmates. I've only used Uber Eats. I've never used Postmates, but I started ordering my food more often, guys, and I gotta stop that. I'm wasting a lot of money, but it is what it is. So those are like the main apps that I use. I would say if I had to do it, probably these are the main apps, but then there's some apps in these that I use more than any of these. Like YouTube Studio is probably the one app I go on the most, then Instagram and Twitter, and I pretty much go from there. Now on the third page, I'm going to quickly run through this because none of this stuff is even like half important. Pretty much on the front top, I have like Uber, Lyft, things like that, health app. I have, in the health folder, I have iBooks in. It makes no sense. In this other folder called folder, I have Chick-fil-A app. Extras, I just keep a lot of other stuff. And this row is pretty much nothing. The watch app, I don't use that often, but I do have an Apple Watch. So sometimes if there's like emergency, I go on it. but I do have the first Apple Watch still, so that stopped getting updates. So there's no reason for me to go into Watch app because there's no updates for it anymore, but it is what it is. And Gboard is my keyboard of choice. I love it a lot. I couldn't even imagine using the stock iOS keyboard anymore because I'm so used to Gboard. So I like Gboard a lot. If you want to, go download it. It's great. The rest of the apps I don't even use. WhatsApp I don't use all the time. Goat I don't use. Files, sorry. Coinbase is where Bitcoin and all that stuff was. Actually, let's see where Bitcoin's at right now. Hopefully it doesn't show any of my personal info. I guess it doesn't. So you can see Bitcoin is at $4,000. Can you believe where this thing used to be at? As you can see, I still have $11.94 left. But man, just like, remember when Bitcoin was like up here, guys? Man, I made a couple of videos when I was there too. And I was explaining to you guys how to download it. But man, thank God that video didn't get too many views. Google Drive is where I keep most of my instrumentals. So I go on here pretty much. I'll probably put this back up at the front. This is where all my instrumentals are. And I don't like going back and forth and putting them on my phone and then deleting them when I get up to. I just like going straight from the computer and just going from there. But yeah, these apps I don't use. Antutu I use every once in a while. Robinhood Music, Siri shortcuts I don't even use. I just use them on the widgets tab. And on the last page, these are the apps that I usually did for my speed test. If you guys, like I said, watch my speed test, you probably already know that I tested all these apps. I don't use any of these ever. I totally even forgot they were on my phone, so I might end up deleting them because I've already speed tested all my phones with all the iPhones. So there's really no point in keeping them because I don't even use them. But that is pretty much what's on my phone in the later part of 2018 now. Going into 2019, I might switch up my whole lifestyle pretty much. iOS 13 is supposed to be bringing some crazy new things, and hopefully they'll bring some new home layouts, some widgets, some new things, something different. You know, I'm sick and tired of the same layout. We've pretty much been on it for so long now, and I really think Apple's going to switch things up. So it'll be pretty interesting to see next year, even in like June once the betas start coming out, of how different the layout is and kind of comparing this video to the video that I'm eventually going to make with iOS 13, and I think it's going to be pretty interesting. So that is pretty much it, guys. 2018 has been crazy. We grew so much. The growth of this year was insane. I might have like a recap video, something like that maybe, to talk about how this year went in terms of the channel growth and everything, and pretty much everything like that. So that's where I'm going to end it. If you guys have any questions or anything like that, leave it down in the comment section below. Hit that like button. That'll mean so much. But definitely hit that subscribe button. Every single subscriber we get really does count. So it'll mean so much if you guys could hit that. Also check out the other links down in the description as well. My Twitter, my Instagram, my second channel. All those links are linked down below. I'd really appreciate if you guys could check that out. But more importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.